Hello everybody. How are you doing? We're back with more programming of King's Quest II, SCI. And I have new headphones. Well, old headphones that no one's using, and they don't sound very good, but it works. So... trying to figure out what I'm going to program today. I guess we could finish doing the water. Let's just play through it and get a feel. Maybe there's something we can... Good afternoon, Shadon. Nice to see you. Let's play through what we got so far. Relax a bit, step back, and just see the game in its current context. Hit and shell. Excellent. Oh yeah, this is SCI. It pauses the game when you type. I guess I could get Red Riding Hood to wander around randomly in the various screens she shows up in. So, because I'm tired of her just standing there. Need to have this game feel a bit more alive and lived in, especially now that we've got the game programmed into the end now. We don't have all the art assets, but that's okay. We can work with what we got with the AGI ones for now. That flicker. That's irritating. But I'm still pretty impressed with how this came out. It's not perfect, but it works. This is another screen Red Riding Hood appears on, and this is one of the ones we finished, this background, in the past 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks, probably. Screen you sent, screen 7, the tree by the chasm, actually exposed a few bugs in my own SCI image renderer, so I'm quite happy about that. Oh, nice! Happy accident. I've since solved that problem with the grass, by the way. Like the random brushes. What happened was SCI Companion's picture editor was inputting random values into the brush that were illegal. So it would work drawing them, but when you save it, it would corrupt. And it didn't matter if it was fixed in the code, they'd still have to be redrawn, so I had to redraw it. What music is this? Sorcerian. I've never played Sorcerian. It's a sequel to Zeliard, right? A nice looking screen. The screen, I don't think I've ever visited very much when I replay this. And there's Hagatha's cave. Graham's cottage. I know there's earrings in there. Is it the earrings? Necklace. Yeah. I think the earrings are in the dwarf's chest. Now that I think about it. Sorcerian is more of a traditional team-based RPG, where Zeliard is more platform-like. Both made by the same developers, though. Are they in the same universe, though? Or is it just the same team made it? So happy that that finally works. Where does one get the coins? No, it's not in there. I guess there is no coins in this game. Not same universe, no. Oh, I always thought that it was a sequel. I don't know where I heard that. It's probably just something I assumed as a kid. Somehow this screen looks a little too plain. Like, the grass here is too flat. The shadows are too straight, rectangular. I don't like it. There's something mechanical and fakey about it. Maybe I'll put some flowers here. But it just looks too empty right now compared to everything else. I don't know. We'll see. I've already been here. I guess the brooch. And here we see the water's working here. Store's closed. And because it's a rectangle, it's going to keep saying that till I get off of it. I have programmed in a invisible rectangle where if you stand on it, you get transported in unless it's closed. And so it just repeats that message over and over again. If I wanted to right now, I could bypass the whole bridge thing and just do this, because there's no death on this chasm. But I'm not going to do that. Oh, I don't think I implemented the reflective water here. That shouldn't be too hard to do. I did hear, but I didn't finish the priority yet. I'll probably finish that up on an art stream. I like this tree now. At least it looks better than the other one did. Alright. Crossed once. Read inscription. Make a splash. Now that we've read it, we've triggered the first key quest. I'm gonna make a beeline for the beach. Should be straight over here. Nope, I was wrong. One down. But she needs flowers, so I got to give goodies to Red Riding Hood here. I almost said Robin Hood. Shouldn't the shadow also have a triangular shape to match the roof? Yeah, let's go back over there. You're absolutely right. Maybe that's what was subtly bugging me. So this should come straight up like this. And this should not be light green. Absolutely. This is why I'm no artist. Maybe we can do that quick. Thanks for pointing that out. Come on. Oh, fine. Zoom in. The shadow's coming from behind. A little bit, like straight above, but slightly behind the church. Then it would cast a bigger shadow. If I did that. that. I wonder, should I put a little bit of a... I should, shouldn't I? Right here. Does that look too hokey? Green flood fill is not flood filling anymore. Okay, right there. That fill's not doing anything. So like that and that. That still makes it look too small, doesn't it? Or does it make sense? It makes more sense than it did. Maybe it shouldn't be quite so elongated. Maybe it should come to a point sooner. Because if I'm judging by the height of the building to the base of the slanted roof, anyway, and comparing to the shadow, it's only about that long. So it could come like to here and back. Let's see. Yeah. So instead of... yeah, you, I'd like to move... there. Okay, but I do want to change that. To something like, I'm just kind of guessing, but really makes it look small, doesn't it? How does that look? Shit on. I'm trying to conceptualize how the sun being slightly behind the building, but mostly and right directly above, would cast that point. Maybe the point should come down here more. But if it's mostly directly above, then I don't know. It's better than it was. Actually, this line here would not measure up. Okay, so that should, this line should at least come a little higher to like there, I think. Something like that. Just the reason I'm making it so short, like so narrow, is the building height should be longer than the roof slanted height. You know what I mean? So this should not be as long as this. The space between here and here should be longer than the space between here and about there. So from there to there would be the width would be less. That's how I'm conceptualizing it anyway. Okay, well thanks for pointing that out. I like it better now. Okay. So yeah, I think I'd like to do program in the randomization of Red Riding Hood. And have her... Well, first let's make her walk around, and then we'll program her to be random. So we are here, Red Riding Hood 1. I kind of named these screens after where she would show up. Red Riding Hood 2 is right here. I'm not sure if those are the only two places. Those are the only two I have named that way, it looks like. So I might just keep it that way. Yeah, I'll have to move all this code too into a region, since she will show up in more than one screen. If you're doing something more than once in a room, it should be a region or a locale, depending on how much you want to have done. It'll be a region in this case because locales only handle handle events, I believe. Regions handle a do it method, a change state method, and a handle event method. And again, just to recap, do it methods handle code that is executed repeatedly, no matter what, when you're in a room. Handle events are interactions you make, so like a said statement or a keystroke or something. And the change state method is handled for queuing up sequences. So if you want something to happen at a certain point, you queue a certain change state, and it will happen once, unless you want it to happen again. Little Red Riding Hood goes here. This is the code. This is the code block, temporary code block for all the Red Riding Hood code. Okay, and Red Riding Hood will only show up if you have the mermaid flowers. So it looks like I kind of started it already. Red Riding Hood of prop. Oh yeah, she's right there. Yeah. So if you have the mermaid, if you don't have the mermaid flowers, Red Riding Hood appears. Yeah. Which that handles once she gives you the mermaid flowers. And I don't specifically check to see if you have the flowers in your inventory, because after you give them to the mermaid, you'll lose them again. So Red Riding Hood would show up again, which we don't want to happen. So I made a global variable instead, saying if you've given the mermaid the flowers in the past, or no, if she's given you the mermaid flowers in the past, this will be 1, and it'll never be 0 again through the rest of the game. So that's a safer way to check. Although global variables take up a lot of memory, so I might replace this with some other method of logical comparison. Anyway, Red Riding Hood in it. And so this said statement here, give basket to girl, this whole code block should be in the Red Riding Hood region script, which I will make. That is not made yet. Anyway, let's program her walking around. We want her to do a wander. I can probably restrict her inside a certain space too. I wonder if King's Quest 1 did that actually. Let's check. Like, for instance, the scene the elf appears in. Elf. Man, these screens are so much nicer than mine. Just looking at them, the thumbnails, it's like, oh. So nice to look at. Just shows how much of a way I have to go to measure up to this. But, I mean, these are real artists. I'm not a real artist. What's the screen where the elf shows up? It's not that one. It's not. That's the bowl. That's the bowl screen there. It's the... No, it's not the cave entrance. It's not either cave entrance. That's the wolf screen right here. That's the fairy godmother screen. Well, one of them. It's north of the castle, so it's probably going to be down here. It's another fairy godmother scene, I think. It's got evergreen trees in it.
A great big ball of dirt with 50 billion souls.
Space Quest 6.
To sit around and veg down in the dark like moles. But me, I'm just the kind of girl who loves the open air.
This is the screen right here.
Bits of unburned hydrocarbons blowing through my hair. Soil is clear at last, it's here with clearly better taste.
Okay, this is using the Wander script, so we know we're in the right room. Okay. Elf. Initialize. Illegal bits. I don't remember what that means. Set cycle walk. Set motion wander. So it'll just wander. Okay, elf cage. So it does have a cage. But I don't know the definition. Elf cage. Instance elf cage of cage. Oh, so cage is a class. Do we have that in... Wait, is that its own... Oh. Cage of block. Interesting. So block is direct object of the main object. And it has a top left, bottom right. So if the parameter is less than or equal to the bottom, so if it's inside the rectangle, then top. What does that mean? Interesting. I can kind of get the idea of what this means. So why is there a cage object of block if it does exactly the same thing? What's different? Okay, it's slightly different here. Anyway, it restricts something inside the cage anyway. So that's in block script. What's the script number? 949. Do we have block script? We don't have that script. Oh wait. Nope, we don't have it. What if we can copy it? Because that's handy. That's really handy. I'm going to rip that straight out of here. Block.sc, and that's script 949. What other scripts are here anyway that might be useful? We get block, feature. Okay, these are probably named incorrectly though. Forward counter. Forward counter of forward. Oh, so this is based on the cycler. The forward object is a cycler for set motion, or set motion or set cycle. It's a cycler, yeah, set cycle that just iterates through each cell in a loop forward and repeats. So forward counter does something extra. It's counting the frames. Just how would we, what's the logic around using this? I don't know when to count the caller. Whoops. What uses it? So forward counter? Set cycle forward counter. Random 1 to 3. Door opens. Okay, it's passing forward counter and passing in a random number. Random is a kernel function. I can't look at this definition. Okay. And then 958. There's stop walk. D path. So that's what you use to have an object or an actor move across the screen on a preset path. there's wander. And there's reverse. That's the opposite of forward. Chase. How is that different from follow? I guess follow would try to follow directly behind, whereas chase would be a little different. Dwarf stuff, ogre stuff. So chase is a little different than follow, obviously. Alright, anyway, let's get block. Let's get this block script. Alright. New room? No, we need a new script. Here we go. 9 block 949. That work? Let's try to compile it. Compiling worked. Let's compile it all. Not used anywhere, not used, that's fine. Rebuild. So now we have the cage. Where is that from? Oh, that's Space Quest 6. I knew it sounded familiar. Alright, now how do they use it again? In room 18, so we have Elf Cage of Cage. So I'm gonna trap Red Riding Hood in the center of the screen-ish. Let's say, oh, this is still King's Quest 1. Okay, King's Quest 2. Let's say right about here, 6698. Okay. Hood Cage of Cage. So we had top left, bottom right. Just so I understand. Okay. 76 and 189. Stops up there. 189, he doesn't go any farther than right here. And he goes right down to the bottom, so he's trapped in that area. Let's do something similar here. So, top, bottom, left, right. Is that the convention? Top left, bottom right. Top. Top left, bottom right. Is that right? Top left, bottom right. Yep. So, the top limit will be well, she can go up here. Let's say 77. And She won't go too far to the left, maybe just over the flowers here. So 72. This makes things a lot easier. Bottom. Wait, what's the control line here? 154. And the right. Let's go this far. 283. Okay. Hood cage is not used anywhere. That's fine. I'm about to use it. Okay, how does it work? Deavor, thank you for following. Nice to see you. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the madness. Okay, where else does he use elf cage? Elf cage in it. Elf observe blocks. Elf cage. Hey. Okay. I have to initialize it and then I have to make observe blocks. Observe blocks. Hood cage. Does that work? Yep. But I have to initialize it here. Hood, oops, cage. No, it's gotta be circled in parentheses. Alright. Not a property of method prop. Oh, I gotta make Red Riding Hood an actor, not a prop. Okay. This is SCI code. Yes, it is. What's up? Good. What's up with you? Good to be here. Always exciting to learn someone's streams. Oh, good. I'm glad that you dropped by. I have not seen Divorce streams. But I will. No, I can't do it from here. I'm just trying to, might have to learn this at some point. Slat mentioned me maybe taking a crack at combat code for him. Oh, interesting. Yeah, he, known Slat for a while, since, SCI Studio was still a thing. He's good at that stuff. Okay, hang on a second. Deavor. What kind of stuff do you stream, Deavor? Anyone who doesn't know him, follow him. Subscribe if you want. There, followed you. I'll check you out, man. Oh, a Unity developer? That's cool. You do little pixel art too? That's awesome. Yeah, Unity's intrigued me. It'd be interesting to see how that stuff's done. Hey, Mediocre Gamer, nice to see you. We've started up again, so no more Friday Slat streams. Aww. Was that a Monkey Island too? No, this is all Sierra music. This was Quest for Glory 4. I'm not sure where in the game, but it's somewhere in Quest for Glory 4. I got all the old Quest Studios digital soundtracks of Sierra games, but for a lot of them it doesn't name the... it doesn't have a title for the song. I'll have to go through them and name them at some point. Yeah, a little bit of Monkey Island vibe, doesn't it? Just yeah, those two. Cool. I'll check you out, man. Thanks for following again. So I'm trying to Oh, I already read that. Okay. I'm trying to implement Red Riding Hood actually walking around on the screen randomly. She, right now she just stands there and does nothing. Like, she's just there. She's always there and she never goes away until you give her the basket of goodies and she gives you the flowers. Then her sprite changes to holding the basket instead of the flowers, and then when you come back, she's gone. I want to make her actually wander around the screen like in an actual game. So, that's what I'm going to do. We are remaking King's Quest 2. I'm going to duplicate everything exactly first, and then flesh it out and make stuff look a little better afterward to be more in line with something like King's Quest 1 SCI. Did you play the VGA looking remake of this? Oh yes. AGDI's remake is excellent. I remember dreaming that why wasn't this ever made? Why didn't Sierra make this? And then I was looking on Quest Studios back in the day, and I saw a music section download, a soundtrack download section for King's Quest 1 VGA, and I'm like, why do they call it VGA? It's not a VGA game. I'm like, well, maybe they just wrote VGA, but they meant the remake. You know, a lot of people call King's Quest 1 SCI, King's Quest 1 VGA. But then I went there, and there's all these VGA graphics. I'm like, what the heck? And then it says made by Tierra Entertainment. I'm like, what the heck? And I went over there, and the rest is history. I became a member of their forums for years. And then I actually worked on the music for their King's Quest 3 remake. So, yeah, I am well aware of them, and they're awesome feats. I wish we could have done something with King's Quest 4. But alas. So I need her to wander around. Okay, so we're gonna set cycle to walk. Is walk a cycler, or is it a motion? Set motion wander. I think that'll work. Did you forget to use wander? Yes, I did. Thank you. Use wander. There we go. What happens now? Nice, look at that. It's kind of random. But she is wandering. She's bouncing around there because I have her trapped in this rectangle. There you go. She found her way out. It's kind of like a ping pong ball. But her cycle speed is so slow. How do we set her speed again? I'm gonna do it this way because there's so many. There. Then I can add more stuff more easily. Played a lot of these as a kid with family, yep. And we went back and played King's Quest 2 VGA together and loved it. That's a great remake. It was pretty divisive when it first came out. I think most people look back on it fondly now though, since it first came out, but because of all the liberties it took with the story retelling. I thought it was brilliant, and man, it was nice to get that classic adventure exploration excitement feel after years of not playing anything new. Because adventures were dead when this stuff came out. I think Tierra/AGDI and Infamous Adventures 2, now Infamous Quests, played a big part in revitalizing adventures. And some of the first big, maybe not the biggest projects. Well, King's Quest 2 was certainly a big project, but definitely the biggest in terms of popularity and getting public's attention. Like, well, adventures can be a thing again, and then more and more people picked up AGS and turned it into a platform to make commercial games off of. So that's awesome. Sorcerian tracks keep playing. I've never played Sorcerian. I have to try it. People hating on new content. Yeah, sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Anyway, the cycle speed. I have to fix the cycle speed. Walk. Okay. There's numbers that come after it. Yeah. Can I look at your definition? Do you take any parameters? No, you don't, do you? Why are you walking so slow? Alright, I guess it's cycle speed I have to set. I keep going randomly from different things every week, so one week I'll do programming, the next week I'll do art, the next week I'll do sound and music. And so now I'm going back to programming, I gotta remember how all this stuff works. Cycle speed. Yeah, let's okay. Set. Or no, cycle speed. 6. It's a property. Oh. Okay, I can set that in the instance. Never mind, I don't need to do this here. So let's go all the way down. Cycle speed 6. Let's try that. Remember the Red Riding Hood being a bit hard to catch back in the day? I'll make it a little easier. Okay, no, she is as slow as molasses. I mean, she's moving around, but her animation frame speed is so slow. Okay, I think it's the lower number, the faster, actually. Let's try that. It's still so slow. Why is it so slow? I'm forgetting something. Wait, okay. Let's look at other rooms where I have actors moving around, and one of them would be the wolf in Grandma's cottage. Smoke equal dead wolf. Okay, Grandma Wolf. Cycle speed 0. Move speed is a little different. Set cycle walk, loop 2, set step. Follow ego. I should change that to chase. But whatever, it gets the job done. Okay. Cycle speed is 0. Loop. Set step. I think her step is fine. Cycle speed 0. Try that. Otherwise, I'm not sure why she's animating so slowly. Maybe I'm missing something. What is her view resource here? What? View 49. Okay. 37. Whoops. Nope. Just play it. Oh, she doesn't have any frames. That's why. That's why. Okay, I'm gonna open WinAGI to capture those. Those frames. Hey, I missed a few streams. That's okay. The VODs are all up. They will be for 60 days, and then I back them up on YouTube too, so. I missed a few messages here. By the way, point-and-click fans should take a look at Wormwood Studios' Strangeland game. That sounds interesting. If only developers didn't make new stuff for me, the world would be a better place. Better stop then and make the world a better place. Mostly retro style, also some. Oh, nice. Yeah, Strangeland looks sweet. Can't wait till I finish my current playthroughs and hit that up. I never even heard of it, so I'm gonna have to look it up myself. Probably have my speed cranked up. Yeah, everyone check out Shadon's games too. Want to support all the retro style game developers that I can come across. They all need more attention. WinAGI is kind of like SCI Companion, and it's relatively regularly updated. It gets support. Oh, here she is. So here she is with the flowers, and here she is with the basket. She skips and jumps. Okay. Oh, it animates it too. Look at that. Alright. So there's 3 cells. And looks like I can't copy and paste. Oh, right, here we go. Copy cell. The cell after. It's not copying it. You must not copy it as a bitmap. Shoot. Can I open it in Paint Shop? Nope. Okay. Maybe I can do it in AGI Studio instead. Wait, I've already got AGI Studio opened. Yeah, there we go. Keep it simple, stupid. I'll have to change the logic for when she gets her basket. Mirror of loop 0. Yep. And then add another loop. So much space. There we go. Is it 3? Oh, this one has 5. Okay. Strangeland. I've played Strangeland a dozen times for testing. Its AGS coding is really wild. Oh wow. Probably way beyond me. Shadon, you got quite the ludography. What does ludography mean? That's a word I haven't heard before. Yeah, I can imagine. They did some freaky stuff in that game. The voice acting is also excellent in Strangeland. Good. Nice to hear. Mostly small stuff. Working on a bigger SCI Zero style parser adventure, but that'll take a long time to complete. This one took 15 years. I mean, I haven't worked on it in years either, but... but yeah, it takes a while. Mouse wheel inventory is probably the best point-and-click innovation in a decade or so. Yeah, I wish we could program mouse wheel use into classic Sierra games, like into SCI. I don't think it's possible though. Like the interpreter itself just isn't made for it. ScumVM might be able to do something with it if you write some custom kernel calls or something, and or identifiers, and then have the scripting take advantage of it. Might be able to set the scripting so that it it can like check to see if you're playing on ScumVM or in the regular DOS interpreter, and then utilize the scroll wheel if so. I wonder. I hope to TEM on a parser one day. What does that mean? I love them. Discography but games. Oh, sweet. So you have a lot of games. Team on. Oh, okay. Scroll wheel inventory sounds sweet. Yeah, it does. Or map scroll wheel to key codes. Key codes shouldn't be a problem for SCI. Like in DOS? Oh, map the scroll wheel. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, like in DOSBox. That wouldn't work for Actual DOS, though. I guess the mouse driver itself would have to have some implementation for the scroll wheel, and then the interpreter, if you wanted to go that route. The interpreter would have to interpret it. Yeah. Or I suppose a custom mouse driver could map scroll wheels to certain keystrokes instead, and then maybe that's a way to do it. I don't know how to program drivers, though. That's way beyond me. I fiddle around with editing the source code for some things, and I use Visual Studio to write my own little tools. I actually started writing a tool to upscale AGI picture backgrounds into upscale to a factor of 5, like 1 to 5. But the way I did it was I make the program generate. It reads the draw commands from the AGI picture resource, and then it generates a bash script file, not batch, bash, for ImageMagick draw commands. And it's pretty close, but the problem is when AGI screens are upscaled, it leaves a bunch of holes, and flood fills are a disaster. So here's what I can do. Here, let me show you. I call it AGI to HD. So this is the kind of thing it does currently. I tried to make the beginning and ends of every line point put a horizontal line in there, but so to try to attempt to close some gaps, but it's not enough. So you can see down here it needs to be it needs to double the Y value too, so it's like you have to have a box on every joint. I've tried to think of a bunch of ways to fix the holes, but I'm just not experienced or talented enough to figure out anything beyond quick stopgap measures like this. Like I'm sure there's some kind of algorithm you could write, you could code in to detect the angles of where 2 points intersect and whatever, but that's way beyond me. A lot of pixel drawing programs do that in a few clicks now, thankfully. It used to be a headache exporting Sosh Meads. I understood half of that sentence. Yeah, this was my first attempt at flood fill fixing. Well, not fixing, but... So this is a Space Quest 2 shot. But you can see that it's messed up. There's supposed to be some foreground bushes here, and there's just not. You can see part of it's here at Windall Green. This was drawing at the original resolution 160 by 162 with ImageMagick. But it didn't come out perfectly. It's better now because there are two different lines in AGI. Absolute lines and relative lines. Absolute lines in the byte code of the picture have just coordinates in X and Y values for each byte. Each byte is a X and Y value. But for relative lines, to save on space, it's a lot more complicated. It uses bit values, and it only covers a maximum of... It uses math to judge from what the previous coordinate was up to about 7 pixel difference in any direction, except for negative Y values, which only go to -6, because there are 2 bits in a byte used for signed numbers for X and Y values. Anyway, it was really complicated, but I managed to get it to work. The only thing I haven't implemented is... but this is pretty close. But ImageMagick doesn't draw perfectly the same way that AGI does. Like, its line drawing commands are... They're not perfect staircasing, there's overlapping, and it's meant for anti-aliasing lines, not for non-anti-aliasing lines. How does a single byte work for X if the images can be 300 wide? They can't. They can only be 160 wide. They're double width pixels, exactly. You can see here, AGI screens are all double width pixels. That's probably partially why. I'm not sure how SCI does it. I haven't looked at the picture code for that, but I imagine it's very similar. Anyway, I was making Red Riding Hood. Whoops. We're at AGI Studio. Here we go. Okay, how many are in there? 5. Okay. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I need one more, actually. I don't like how this whole spray takes up so much solid space. It's... Flip vertical, flip horizontal. Well, I thought there was a way to shift. You can change the width and height right here in AGI Studio, but I guess you can't do that here. Well, you can change the size, I guess. I would like... Let's save some space and just do this. A little bit tedious, but whoops. It's too big. This way she'll be able to fit through tighter spaces easier. Also might mean she'll get stuck easier. Maybe that's why she had such a big boundary, but... Only played through Quest for Glories recently and loved them. I've played through the first one and I've played through some of the second one. I just don't like the stat grinding stuff. Well, Elder Scrolls helped me get into that a little easier, so I probably can go back and do that now. Quest for Glory 4 really knew when to commit to cheesiness and when to stay sort of serious. It felt, oh yeah. Super fair regrinding. Okay. Yeah, I was always just shied away from it. I forced myself to play through Quest for Glory 1. Both versions. With some hints. When I was young and stupid and walked through everything. I don't do that anymore. I don't believe in walkthroughs. Hints, maybe. Alright, how's that look? Nice! Let's do the same thing for this. I think AGI sprites were like this because, like, had big boundaries so that they could control how it animates, because there's no origin point in AGI view resources as far as I'm aware. Whoops. Yeah. So, SCI has this function where you can set the origin point, so every XY coordinate related to an object is set to revolve around the origin point. So when you move around an object on the screen, you'll use this one point as the XY, where the XY, to orient where it's drawn on the screen around this point. So the XY coordinates would correspond to this point. And you can change that point on each cell to make it animate however you want. In AGI you can't do that, so that's why it probably has the big borders around each cell like this, so you can control how it looks when it's drawn around a certain point. Took up a lot of space though, I imagine. File size space, I mean. What game is this? Sorcerian again. Keep playing Sorcerian tracks. I'm like, man, this sounds pretty neat. I haven't played Sorcerian. There we go. And then loop 1 will mirror loop 0. And we've got loop 2 for south, and then we need one more for north facing. Yes, grow the cell. Go ahead. For now. Is there also 5 on this? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Oh, no. 4. 5. There we go. And we'll just move those around. Is this a King's Quest II mod? No, this is a King's Quest II remake. I'm remaking... King's Quest II is an AGI game. I'm remaking it in SCI. So, much like King's Quest I was remade in SCI by Sierra to look a lot nicer, I'm doing the same thing with King's Quest II. Parser and everything. And all the original amenities that SCI offers, so parser, mouse support, limited point-and-click capability, so if you right-click on objects you can look at them. King's Quest I had that ability. Not many people know that. And Quest for Glory 2 had it, I think, as well. And ad-lib music, MT32 music, PC speaker music, and Tandy 3 voice music, which I accomplished last week. That was pretty fun. Yeah, Colonel's Bequest and Quest for Glory 1, yeah, that's probably correct too, yep. And it's fairly easy to do. Just no one bothered to do it with earlier games. Like, I don't think Space Quest 3 did it. King's Quest 4 definitely didn't. Police Quest 2. It's definitely a convention that came after and kind of was a precursor to the full point-and-click experience that King's Quest 5 ushered in without a parser. So yeah, I've been remaking each of these screens entirely in SCI's resolution rather than AGI. So here's AGI. Kind of small, but remade into SCI with dithering. So 320 by 190 instead of 160 by 162. And yeah, it's been coming along great for the past 15 years. Of course, I wasn't working on it in all of that time. I kind of tried to pick it up again by streaming development to try to motivate me to finish it, because I really want to see this finished. I love Space Quest. Space Quest is my favorite. Especially Space Quest 4. Alright, and the origin point. Yeah, that's right. Oh, good. Set them properly. So, alright. Rebuild, play. I wrote a new title theme for King's Quest 2. Morning all, nice to see you, Deluxe Tux. Took me years before I figured out that the functionality existed. Yeah, me too. So this is a brand new theme that I composed for King's Quest 2. That was a glitch there. Trumpet didn't sound. This will play an MT32 PC speaker and 1083 voice. It takes some work to get all of them working because you need multiple tracks in a MIDI file. Follows the King's Quest 1 theme closely, the pattern anyway, but it's got to be a little similar, just to evoke some nostalgia. Here we go, and here she is walking around with the proper cycle speed, animation speed. Let's slow it down a bit. She is trapped under that tree, though. Maybe I should lower the rectangle. She's in a cage right now, which is about from here to here. An invisible cage where she can't walk outside of. Yeah, she's stuck. She needs to be able to move more freely than that. Maybe I'll make her appear right here instead. Or maybe I'll make it so you can walk over this rock. There's just too many obstacles on the screen. See, I kind of just did everything for visual effect, and I wasn't really thinking about functionality. Oh, there she goes. Go up. Go up, you can do it. There you go. Now she's out. Yeah, I gotta add a whole bunch of words to the vocabulary. Oh, that's not good. She can disappear behind the tree. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, it's realistic. I don't have any functionality written for her other than give her the basket of goodies, which I don't have. Alright, that's good. Now when I give her the basket, she's got to change her... let's save this as... Wait, what is view number 50? Where is 72, 66? Okay, I can't read the numbers, so let's do this. 50 is the seahorse. Yeah, see, I probably should have made number 50 her view for when she has the basket, but I did the seahorse instead. So I'm going to have to move things around. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 74. Add a new view, 74. 74. Red Riding Hood basket. Alright, and then we get a change to her other view. Here we go. Yes. And then we'll trigger the programming so that when we give her the basket, her view changes. So it's like she changes costumes from walking with a bouquet of flowers to walking with a basket, and she'll animate with that instead. Exactly the same way. And then we'll leave the screen, and if we come back, she'll never appear again. I remade a big portion of Commodore 64 Sinbad for fun. Nice! And to use it as a basis for my own game. That's a brilliant way to do things. Like I wanted to remake King's Quest 2 to get a bit of a stronger handle on game design. I have some ideas for games, but you know, I need a starting point and I need some experience. So I figured building on top of something that's already made is the easiest way to go. And while I'm not going to build off my own game directly on top of this, in that way, I am kind of because I'm taking the stock AGI game, recreating it in SCI, and then adding on top of it to flesh it out. And hopefully from that I get a bit more experience and I can actually realize some of my other ideas. Maybe. I'm not an experienced storyteller or anything, but hey, just you gotta try it to see what happens, right? Whoops. Music stopped. Paused it. So this view only has 5 frames instead of 6, so I'll get rid of this one. There we go. I just gotta resize this. Now this is gonna be interesting because this is one of those times where in fact, I'm going to undo this. This is one of those times where the AGI was taking advantage of the space to make her hop up and down. And I've got to duplicate that. So the first... Red Riding Hood. So her first view has her kind of up in the air, actually. So we gotta account for that. About there, and then she kind of jumps. I didn't bother to check how high. That's a good 4 pixels up. It's more difficult because that first cell is a different size. Let's zoom in. Maybe we can just... That always seemed like a good adventure game idea. Didn't know it existed. If you know what you're doing, you can play Sinbad through in 15 minutes. That's like Myst. If you know what you're doing, you can beat Myst in like 2 minutes. You don't even need to go to any of the ages in the game, the different worlds. You just skip right through to the end. Like, it's just based on knowledge that you need to know ahead of time, but you obviously wouldn't. And there's some terrible platformer portions and first-person shooter portions that are super bad design in it, but otherwise it's great. The devs wanted to try 100 different game genres in one adventure game. Wow. Yeah. Reminds me of Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo. That might have also gotten a PC port, a DOS port, I'm not sure, but it starts out overhead, but then when you go inside a building, it's first person. That's really the only other game style in the game, though, just the two. It's not the worst idea given the narrative itself, but given how fleshed out game genres were at the time, it's more questionable. I guess, yeah, it was really a time when people were trying new things, wasn't it? Thrown into a first-person shooter scene, you have a 1-second window to react before you insta-die. Oh yeah, that's always fun. And then you must sit in loading screens and switch discs for a few minutes to load the darn game over screen. And then back to the main title screen and start over. Ouch. Ouch. Three. 3 pixels up. Three. Is that right? Yeah, 3. We'll get this accurate yet. Gotta be careful because I want to make sure I'm getting the same height. Did I chop off or... No, I didn't. Okay. Quite a bit higher. Luckily I only have to do this once. I just want it to look accurate. Alright, how much higher is that from here? 4 higher. There we go. She's hopping around nicely. I have King's Quest V on NES emulator. I haven't tried it. I found this a few months ago. No, last year. At a local game store chain. Just the cartridge and the stickers ripped off, but one of the best 30 bucks I ever spent. Which is not bad considering for what it's going for online right now on eBay. 30 bucks? 20 bucks. I've played through it on emulator. It's pretty neat. It's pretty good, actually. I mean, it's King's Quest V, so you either love it or hate it as it is, but there's some things it does a little better, like when the cat comes for the rat in front of the bakery, if you miss that and it runs off with it, you can do it again. If you leave and come back, the cat will run across again and get the rat. And there's infinite rats, which is nice. What else was there? I think there was one other thing that was a little more lenient on you than the original version. What a concept, yeah. I have Game Boy games from 1990 when I bought them new back then. Me too. But I lost half of my boxes, which I'm still sore about. I had 2 copies of Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. 2. I still have the cartridges, lost both boxes. In a big move across the country, I lost Half-Life boxes. I lost an old game. I wonder if I still have it somewhere. Actually, I'm not sure about that one. Sentinel Worlds 1. I don't think there was ever a sequel, but it was called Sentinel Worlds 1. I had that. What else did I lose? Like, I had 4 Nintendo 64 games, Ocarina of Time, Turok 2, Episode 1 Racer, and GoldenEye. I had Super Mario Land, the box. I had Metroid 2. Luckily, I got the box back for Metroid 2. I actually have 2 boxes now. Just looking at my shelf over here. Oh, so many boxes. I lost Dark Forces, Jedi Knight. I had them all in one box and it didn't make it across the country. I had no idea what happened to this day, what happened to it. All our old machines are gone now. We had a Game Boy, NES, VIC-20, Commodore 64, PS1. I still have all my systems. I still have my NES, my Super NES, my Game Boy Advance SP. I should never have given away or sold. I should have never sold my Game Boy. I had a Play It Loud one with the transparent casing. That's long gone. I have a DS Fat, PHAT. I have, which I actually used for a hacking device for quite a while. Before I had a phone, that's what I used to listen to music, my Nintendo DS with Homebrew. Sega Genesis. I don't have a Game Gear, I don't think, anymore. Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, I still have that. And I have 2 Tandy Color Computer 3s. I didn't get into Commodore 64s when I was a kid. I wish I did. My dad always bought Tandy stuff, so I still have 2 Tandy Color Computer 3s. One of them doesn't work. And I have the cassette drive, and I have the floppy drive, and a bunch of cartridge games. I have King's Quest 3 for the Tandy Coco, actually. I showed that last week, I think, on stream. 90s transparent casing, heck yeah. My brother had a transparent Game Boy Color. I don't know what happened to that either. He must have got rid of that. I got a PS1. I had a PS2, but I sold it because I never used it. I regret that now. I found it in a thrift store for like 20 bucks. I had The Hobbit for it, by Sierra, no less. Sierra published game anyway. Never played through it very much though, but I shouldn't have gotten rid of it. Still have my, newer, older stuff too. I have a GameCube, Nintendo 64, the Wii, hacked as all get out on the Wii, the Wii U, a 360, a PS3, a PS4. What else do I got? I still got lots of stuff. I'm not gonna let anything happen to my color computer though. That's what I grew up on. I made my first game on Commodore 64 around 1995. I wish I had. You can do the same thing on a color computer too, the Tandy. In fact, I got magazines full of games that you can type out in code that I have never tried, that I want to someday. I wish I had gotten that much into it to try to make my own stuff, but I was just a kid. Made my first game of Commodore around 1995. Now 2021, I still suck at making games. I gave away all my old consoles. Still have a 486 with a case made out of plastic post office crate. Wow, cool. I got a 486. And I have a Pentium MMX 233. And inside it, I have... inside my 486, I've got a Sound Blaster AL32, a MIDI Quest card to hook up my MT32 to it, and my CM500, and a Trident Visa Local Bus card of some model that I don't recall. But it does Super VGA pretty nice. It's a 46 DX266 with 12 megs of RAM. I couldn't get a full 16. For some reason, full 16 wouldn't work. But it's got 12. And then the Pentium 233 has a Matrox Mystique with a Diamond Monster 3D Voodoo 1 card. And it's an add-on card. You have to plug them into each other on the back of the case. And there's an AL32 in that one too. And that's where I play all my 90s, late 90s, early 2000s 3D first-person shooter games, so like Quake 2 and Half-Life 1, Unreal, Gold. And then the 486, I got all my ancients. I actually got a 6.4 gigabyte hard drive in my 486 loaded with DOS games. It's a pretty sweet setup. The only problem is it's such a small case, it doesn't have room for my 5.25 inch disk drive. So I've got 2 hard drives and a DVD-ROM drive just to read DVD discs on a 486. A 5.25 inch drive would really make the difference. Be pretty neat to have, but yeah, we were just talking about that in the Space Quest Historian Discord yesterday about the Sierra's Screamin' 3D. Interestingly, John Carmack programmed the first 3D accelerated version of Quake directly for the Screamin' 3D card. And apparently it didn't go very well. And it kind of turned him off of programming for 3D accelerated cards, which is why he never directly supported Glide with Quake, which is kind of disappointing. And that was before WinQuake and GL Quake came out. V-Quake, it was called. I remember finding that on my Quake disc, V-Quake. I'm like, what is this? And it was for a Sierra card, the only hardware card Sierra ever sold. Screamin' 3D. No, it's never gonna take off. I recently, the reason I discovered that was because I decided to play Quake 1 in DOSBox. And it's kind of clunky. You have to either max out the cycles into like 60,000 cycles on DOSBox, or play with max cycles down to like 1%. Because if you do max cycles, it's way too fast, and anything else is like almost too slow unless you really crank up the cycles. Quake's an interesting problem in DOSBox. But it was fun, and I played keyboard-only controls too, so I was always a keyboard-only player, shooter player back in the 90s. I could run circles around Duke Nukem 3D on the keyboard. I know some of these she's hopping up and down. I gotta reference the AGI original to make sure she's still hopping. Yeah, Police Quest 3. Police Quest 3 had a great soundtrack. Composed by Jan Hammer of Miami Vice. So now if I do this right now, she's just walking kind of normally, except it looks like she's limping. But that's because I haven't accounted for her hopping. So we gotta do that. So that cell number 3, which is technically cell number 4, she hops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Which cell was that again? Cell 3. 4 pixels higher. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Hop. Hop. Yeah, that's about right. That'll do it. Oh, and then I gotta do this one too. Alright, a little more. Come on. Did it not look great? I heard some people saying that V-Quake, they liked the way V-Quake looked. And they were hoping that some new source port could kind of replicate the way it rendered things. Is black transparent? How does the engine know not to make her eyes transparent? The eyes are blue, dark. Oh, you're right. Couldn't tell on my other monitor. Yeah, so you can... Right here, the transparent color is black. And her eyes are dark blue. It is kind of hard to see. Especially in the thumbnail here. It's kind of an interesting problem because if you had a sprite that you wanted to use to utilize all 16 colors, you'd have to sacrifice transparency. Or not even that, no, because one color has to be transparent. So there's no way around it. So all sprites can only be a maximum of 15 colors. There we go. Now she hops on the third cell, likely, right? Yep, there she goes. So from here... 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, or technically... 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. Hop, hop. Okay, good. Done. Rebuild resources. Let's go back to the script. And we gotta program in her view change. So it'll change to 74 when she gets the basket. Riding Hood. Instead of set loop 1, we gotta do set view 74. Set view is not an identifier. Okay. So we just do view. Will that work? Let's try it. First of all, we gotta get the basket of goodies. There she is walking around with her basket. Yeah, I don't like that she's trapped there. Maybe I'll move this rock somewhere else. Oh, she made it out anyway, though. Oops. Mailbox. Basket of goodies. Mailbox. Basket to girl. Gratefully she accepts it. And there she is hopping around. Lovely. She's so happy to have her basket. I want to set her her spawn point on the screen to be a little bit more random too. Or maybe I don't need to do that, but I'm not going to make her spawn down here. And I think I'm going to move this rock somewhere else. Maybe down a bit. Just not there. And then when we come back, she'll never appear again. And I do have to solve that flicker. I programmed in this water reflection a couple weeks ago, and it works pretty nicely. I had to do a lot of crazy priority drawing here to make sure that the reflection did not appear on land. There's still a couple issues with it. Like when you come on screen, it kind of flickers in front of everything at first and then gets drawn behind it. So I gotta fix that. But anyway. Alright, so now that we have all of her interactions and code, we gotta move this to a region script. So, where are the region scripts? They're in the 700s, I think. Scripts. 700s. Yes, so I will make the Red Riding Hood's region script 706. But first I want to open up game.sh and declare that script number. Here we go. Game scripts. This way I can reference it by name instead of by script number. So define. Actually, I won't do it here. I'm going to do it here. Define Red Riding Hood script. Or Riding Hood region script 706. Riding Hood region script. That's what we're going to call it. Save. And we need a new empty script. Or no. Can we do a room? I guess the best way would be to do it as a room, eh? 706. No. No, what I'm going to do is copy another region. Say, water reflections. I thought there was a way to just create a new region script. That must have been SCI Studio that could do that. But that's okay. Fishing region. Fishing region. Oh, on the tower realm. That's what it is. Okay. Like, you don't fish in King's Quest 2? Yes, you do. Okay, this is the smallest one, so let's copy this. New script. Script name, Red Riding Hood region 706. Copy everything. Oh, this is a locale though, not a region. Whoops. Okay, no locales. Alright, let's copy this one. Script number, Riding Hood, there we go. Here's the code for handling Red Riding Hood appearing in those interactions. grass. Oh, I gotta catch up on a lot here. My memories of 14, 15-year-olds that GL looked cooler, and I felt like an idiot for not having a Voodoo card. Voodoo looked great. 3D FX was awesome, and it's so different from GL. And I think part of the charm was that it was limited to 16-bit color, right? Is that right? And not 32-bit? So it dithered the shading and dithered, and it just kind of had a more intricate look. Glide looked great. I had a Voodoo 3 1000 card too that I traded with somebody. I wish I never did that. And it turned out, because they wanted a video card to replace the one in their computer, which they said didn't work. So I said, okay, I get a card, and I let them have the card, and they paid me for it. And it turned out the card I gave them wasn't as good as the one that was in there. I don't think it was a Voodoo card. And that I swapped out. It turned out there's nothing wrong with the video card, it was some other problem with the computer, which I fixed. And I said, oh, I could take my card back since that was never the problem. And they said, no, that's okay. So I never got it back. Oh well. I really like 3D FX the way it looked, but certain games like Quake 1 and Quake 2, John Carmack programmed in this really neat warbly effect for when you're underwater, and the GL versions don't replicate that. In fact, I don't think any source port replicates that outside of software rendering, which is kind of sad, because it looked really neat. I also like the lighting in Quake 2, honestly, in software better than in GL. Everything was so yellow, and I know it was supposed to be that way. They designed it that way, but I don't think it looked good at all. I like the software view look better. The colors were brighter and less focused. It was kind of more eclectic. 15 is a lot. Yes, that's true. Actually, I was just thinking, like, what if you wanted an animated rainbow effect? You wouldn't have all the colors to be able to do that. But you could, because every cell can have its own special, separate, transparent color. So if you do it in such a way that the rainbow effect cycles, animates, to where not every color is appearing at once. Once one color goes off screen, you could use that as the transparent color, and so on. So that's a way around it. "15 colors is enough for anybody," Bill Gates probably. What was it? Ron Gilbert gave a keynote speech at was it GDC conference? And he said, one of his opening statements was, "I remember when 16 colors were more than enough, and 256 colors were nowhere near enough." I think that's what he said. Maybe it was opposite, actually. 16 colors were not enough, and... No, it was definitely 16 colors were more than enough, and VGA 256 colors was nowhere near enough. That was kind of funny. Made a few Game Boy-like games with 3 colors, plus 1 transparent. Yeah, that would work. Transparent meaning just the background color, really, which is something very light, as on Game Boy. Yes. You can overlay 2 sprites on top of each other. This is a trick that was also done on the NES, as they can just have 3 colors per sprite and 1 transparency. That's brilliant. You could have multi-object actors or props. That is one way you can do that. That's tricky. Of course, there'd be a lot more memory for a DOS game. One way to trick transparency is to use the Sonic game transparency. Just draw every other line, and you can see what's behind from between the lines. Yeah. Works really well if you have a CRT. Do you have any spare BMWs laying around? Nope. Not me. Okay, there's the do it method. Handle event. I could do change state too, but don't need to. Okay, compile and run. It works. So we want to include that. Let's close all these. So we're gonna take... Oh, I might have to do this for each screen. Because the cage would be, I wonder if I can reference objects in the region script from the room script. Let's find out. Because I have to have Red Riding Hood observe the cage, the hood cage here. Okay. But for now, let's take out this said statement and put it in the Red Riding Hood method. Undeclared identifier, Riding Hood. Yes, I gotta put her. This. There we go. The only, and if I can't do that, the only way, other way I can do it is to have a comparative statement in the region, checking to see if you're in this room, then use this rectangle. If you're in this room, then use this rectangle. That'll be my last resort. That'll work. I have a spare BMW i9 AGI Sprite. Now that's worth a lot of money. You could make that into a, what do you call it? What do they call those new digital goods now that there's only one copy of, and people are like selling digital art this way, and it's like a crypto blockchain thing. What's it called again? Starts with N. Non-fungible tokens, NFTs. You could make that AGI BMW an NFT and make like thousands of dollars off it. That's it, yeah. Thank you, Dave Orr. Thanks for dropping by. I will check out your stuff. Everyone check him out. He's a game developer and a pixel artist. Thanks for dropping by, sir. Never pay more than $20 for a computer game NFT. That's good. Okay, Red Riding Hood goes here. Okay, if not, I need to change this. The initialization method of Red Riding Hood. Go here. Okay. Set region. Set regions. Red Riding Hood. No, Riding. There we go. Does that work? Hood cage is not used anywhere. Didn't use wander. Okay, hood cage. Hood cage is not, okay. That's good. Hood cage. In it. Riding Hood. No, I can't look into it. Dang. So I'm gonna have to do that per room. That no longer needs to be there. Okay, so all this can go. Okay. I'm gonna have to make a different one for each room. So this is for room 2, for default, and then if it's a different room, I can change it. So the other room is... the other room is... this room. No. 85. Let's do 90 and 95. $63, $164. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought I was gonna crash. Room number is 2. 165. Make her appear in the other room. This room. Okay. So she should be here now. And down here. Yeah, there she is. Awesome. I might make it like King's Quest 1, where if you get a certain distance from her, if you get a certain distance from the elf in King's Quest 1, he'll stop moving, so you can get close to him. I'll probably do the same thing for her. I'm gonna change where she shows up to, because I don't like that spot. She can appear 169 by 107. I'm gonna do this a different way. What room is that? 16? Lisp style syntax with all the parentheses always does my head in. This isn't actually isn't as bad as it used to be. SCI Studio has way more. And it was a nightmare. This is still pretty bad, and it's based on Lisp, that's true, but yeah, it's a nightmare. It used to be a lot worse though. Companion uses the actual syntax Sierra used. SCI Studio has a different one. That was kind of a guesstimation when we didn't have all the information we have now. So if we're on room 16, we gotta make her spawn position, let's say, no, it doesn't matter, 144 to 116. There we go. So for room 16, we'll change the cage dimensions to this and set her spawn position here. Otherwise, just do it as normal. I think that should work. So, go over here, she should appear right there. If we go down, she'll appear right there. And she's still trapped in a box, randomly changing direction and wandering randomly within that space. Let's try to get her to stop if we're within a certain space. So that would be in the do it method. So distance 2. How does that work again? So if we're within 30 pixels, set motion. How do I get her to stop? I don't remember. Check the documentation. Well, how does King's Plus 1 do it? No, it's not called stop. Set motion 0. Okay. Good enough. So distance to else. It's a method of actor itself. Oh. All the interactions can be part of the actor object. Ah, it's one of my favorite games, Thexter 2. I didn't realize actors could have all these methods, but it makes sense. Okay. I wonder if I'm using more memory than necessary by implementing all these methods in the room script instead of Red Riding Hood's own script. Okay. This is just a different way of doing things. It makes more sense to put interactions for Red Riding Hood in her own class, her own instance, but which means I could probably set these within the object. Whatever. Can I wonder if I can... that won't work. Is there a way to check if an actor is moving? Is stopped will work. Okay. I'm trying to check. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do it this way. So if ego is within 30 pixels, and then if Riding Hood is not stopped, stop her. Otherwise, if ego is not within 30 pixels, and if Red Riding Hood is stopped, get her walking again. Hopefully that works. There we go. She stopped. When we walk away, she starts moving again. Awesome, that went smoother than I thought. Nice. Beautiful logic. I don't know if I can get her to face the direction Graham is in too. Facing me. I'll have to look into that later. There might be a way to check, a built-in way to check to see if, to figure out where character is facing. When actors are moving, they usually win awards for those kinds of performances. That's true. Except in an SCI game. I was sure there was an if-facing flag. It's only used in feature, which means it's probably not used anywhere else. I'll do that later. I could do it manually and say, if ego is less than or greater than the x or y values, then change the loop. But there's gotta be an easier way to do it. And if there isn't, I should implement a way to do it everywhere, simply like that. Which I'll do at another time, because I can't wrap my head around it right now. Okay, let's just try the basket of goodies. Oh, I can also implement her appearing randomly too. I haven't done that yet. Okay, I should have her not bother stopping if she has the basket. So that's another thing I gotta do. Not bother stopping. If well, wait. We need if not G-Ego has no. This is what we'll do. This is not equal to it, I think. I don't think this is a thing. Yeah, this means not equal to instead of this. As is usual in C. Actually, I could just do if not G. What's the writing? Not G writing the goodies, then do all this. Now if I give it to her, she should not stop. Okay, that backfired. She's stuck in the stop position now. Alright, since we can't give her the basket unless we're within 30 pixels, as soon as we give her the basket, we should just set it right here. Set motion wander. That should fix that. That's a safe bit of coding there. There she goes, and now she'll no longer stop. She'll just be happy and not care about me anymore. And we come back and she's gone. Let's try it on the other screen. There she goes. Perfect. Well, that's a pretty good day's worth of coding right there for one stream. I think I'll call it here. I gotta start work in 8 minutes, so thanks everyone for joining. That's pretty dreary music. Find something a little more cheerful to end on. There we go. Well, that wasn't used in Space Quest 5. It's an unused theme. Good enough. Alright, thanks for joining. Yes, thank you Shadon and the Deluxe Tux and Roiku and Deavor. Who else was here? Jay Frisbee. Just everyone that showed up and watched and lurked, that's fine. I love you for joining, even if you're not saying anything. And I'll talk to you later. I'm streaming again on Thursday, 9 a.m. Central, and we'll do a bit more programming. Maybe I'll try to fix her, make her facegram wherever he's standing in relation to her when she stops. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. Thanks for showing up, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.